Good morning, everyone. This is Amanda Mertz at Did You Stamp Today, and welcome to my second week in a row of a live stamping event. And I'm calling it, I had to write it down. I keep forgetting what I called it. Let's Stamp Today. So every day is a good day to stamp. So we're going to do a little fun fold, and it's way easier than you think it is maybe when you first see it. I made one a few weeks ago for a blog hop I was part of, and it just seemed like a good video type card to make to show you, and you can use different dies and really whatever you've got. I'm going to get started in a moment. I'm just going to make sure I've got my feed set so I can see some comments and see what people are doing. Turn off my sound. Let's see if I can. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to show you some of the supplies we'll be using, and the first thing we're gonna need for my design is the Party Banners die set, and we're using 3 of the different dies for this one. And then we're also going to be using the Birthday Celebrations stamp set. I believe this stamp set is now on the last chance list, so if you really like it, go check that out. The dies that go with this are not last chance, so you can use those on their own. They have a lot of cute stamps, and it are dies, and there's also numbers. So if you don't have a number die set, this is the one that goes with this is a good one. And then we'll be using some, just give you a quick little look here, some of the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper, and that is going to still be available too. That's not last chance. So let me just flip the camera around and then we can get started. So bear with me a moment as I flip things around and and get you set up. There we go. Let's see if I can zoom in. Nope. Why did it do that? Someday I'll get this set now, and it's not letting me zoom. And last week it let me zoom. I don't understand. You know, Facebook, you make things difficult. Well, we might just have to put the camera super close, but you're getting all the edge of my tripod. I don't know. And I know you don't want to see all the messy stuff on the edge. Does anybody have a suggestion? If anybody is live. Ooh, there it just went. Now that's way too close. All right, how about that? That works pretty well. Okay. I don't know what I was doing. So, like I said, we're going to use the Birthday Celebration set and then the Party Banners dies. And we're going to make a fun fold. Let me just show you some of the pieces we're going to be using. So we've got Pretty in Pink card base. And the first step we're going to do, we're just going to fold that one in half and give a nice crease here. And then next we're going to glue our party or our Wildflower Celebration Designer Series paper. And this paper is really nice. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's got gold accents. And that's just always fun to have a little pop of color and bling and shine on your Designer Series paper. So I really like this, and I think I have a few full sheets left in my pack, but I've used it for a few classes, so there's not much left. Now I'm going to just put this over my card base. Oh, and look, we've got a little extra edge here, and I'm going to put this here and quick trim off the end, because that will bother me the whole, there we go. That will bother me the whole recording if I see that little edge down there. All right, so the next step that we're going to do, you could do this the way I just did it by putting your Designer Series paper down first, or just making 2 die cuts, just for the interest of keeping things moving on the live. I'm going to be using the, let's see, I need to count it out now. Let's see, 1, 2, I think the 5th and the 6th largest or smallest, you know, count from the smallest out. So the 5th and the 6th smallest, those are the 2 we're going to be using for this part. But we're going to first we're going to cut out the larger one out of the 2 out of the middle. And if you want to save paper and be able to have the Pretty in Pink banner that you're cutting out and then a separate piece of the Designer Series paper, you can cut them out separately. That's fine. It's just easier here, and then you make sure everything is lined up perfectly, because otherwise it might be kind of hard and you might just need to finagle it a little bit. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, my trusty Big Shot. I know Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore, but when you own 3 for classes, and have for years, it's really kind of hard to just replace them with a new machine that costs what it costs. So once one of these goes, I'll be getting Stampin' Cut and Emboss. But for now, my Big Shots are the workhorses that I'm sure you all know. So you're just going to line up your die. Let me make sure you can see. Just line it up, run it through. All right, I have to stand up to Big Shot. Make sure I get my muscles going. And clink, clink, clunk all the way through. And take my tape off. Nice and easy. I know other people use painter's tape or washi or Post-it notes or masking paper, but I like the blue painter's tape because it's cheap and it lasts a long time. So there you go. You're going to have those 2 pieces. This one, you're just going to set aside. You can use that on another project. You could figure out a way to use it on your inside, but for now, that's just the offcut that we're not going to mess with. The next one, we're going to do that same size, so the larger one, and we're going to cut out the same size banner in Blueberry Bushel. I almost said Blueberry Bliss. I want my alliteration to match, but yes, Blueberry Bushel. So we're just going to crank that one through. So you've got that. Throw that one away. And then you're going to grab your next smallest one. Remember, they're the 2 right next to each other. And you can really use any sizes you want on this, but I wanted to make sure I did a small enough one so you could see a good portion of the Designer Series paper around the edges. Now this one, we're just going to die cut just a basic white. And then we'll have almost everything we need. We're going to do one more cut, and then I can put the die cutter out of the way. All right, so you'll see how those nest nicely like that. And then our final one is, it's the second smallest. I have to hold it up. Yes, the second smallest. And this is a piece of Pretty in Pink, and it is 1.5, yes, 1.5 by 5.5. I just wanted to make sure. I've scored it already here just because my scoreboard is across the room and I didn't want to have to drag that all over for one. So that's scored right there at 1.5. Now for this one, we're going to flag the end using the die. So you just kind of thread the paper through and just line it up. And I know you can use snips to do this, but I like that you can do this with any size piece. So sometimes it's hard with a wide banner to get it just right. And this way it also, you get the nice little curve, So everything is just kind of matchy-matchy. So you're just gonna do that. And I'm gonna line it up, make sure, get my head out of the way. And I might just do a little bit of tape just to keep it secure. I'm going to run this one through. Oops. Hopefully everyone can see. I forgot to look up to see if anybody has joined yet. If you haven't joined live, you can always watch the replay. It'll be on Facebook for 30 days, and then I'm also uploading to my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see those indefinitely. And I just figured out yesterday, after much searching and carrying on and Googling and like figuring out if it was even possible how to do a high def video upload to YouTube. I had to search for it, but I found it. So we're done with this. I can move this around. So you'll be able to see a high def version up on YouTube. So it won't be so blurry like last week's video. So just to recap what we die cut the basic white, the blueberry bushel, the end of the pretty in pink, and then the front of the card base. Now let's see what we're going to put together. I'm going to actually take a quick peek at my sample. I made this one really quick yesterday, so I'd make sure I'd had all the supplies handy so I wouldn't be searching for them on camera. All right, let's do our stamping first. Let's do that, and then we can put the card together. So I've got my old olive pad, and we're going to do a little sentiment right over here. I'm going to do the Make-A-Wish, and again, this is the birthday celebration stamp set. Came out in this earlier this year's spring mini catalog. It was in that set. I'm going to do it right here over on the side. I'm going to do that, and then let's see, I'm going to do a little flower while I've got the green out. I'm going to do a little bit more stamping in a few minutes, but I think that's what I did. Oh no, I'm going to do the inside stamping at the end because we're going to have to line some stuff up. But I'm going to do my envelope too while we're here, because no naked envelopes, right? Gotta have your envelopes looking just as pretty as what's inside. So I'm just going to flip those around, and I'll pull in my Pretty in Pink. And the Pretty in Pink is one of the 2024-2026 in colors. So if you're looking for that in the regular color collection, you won't find it. It'll be in the in colors. And then don't forget this one. All right, we're going to set that aside. Now to decorate our front banner. Where are my... Okay, so in the Wildflower Birthday Celebration Designer Series paper, there are all these fun, there's like a sheet, I think a full sheet, I don't even know, I punched all mine out, so they're all kind of loose. A full sheet of die cuts, little flowers and balloons, and there might even be two, with flowers and birthday cakes and cupcakes and all that jazz. So I'm going to use some of those pieces to just decorate my banner. And I'm just going to do this one kind of down there. And then I'm going to add in, let's see, we're going to do this flower, a little bit of glue, and we're going to do that one right there. We're going to tuck a little, let's do the big leaf. Oh no, let's do the little leaf. It's a smaller. And these are really nice to mix and match if you have an event or you have a group of people who want to stamp together. You just give them a bunch of different bases that match the Designer Series paper colors, and everyone can kind of use punches and put together their own layering and designs, and it's really kind of a fun way to have group stamping. If you're having a girls get together or a family reunion or something like that. All right, we're going to tuck that one in. All right, now we're almost ready to put things together, I think. Let me make sure I haven't forgotten any bits. All right, here we go. So you're going to take your insert, which we have not stamped yet. So we're going to stamp that after. Well, maybe we can. No, let's stamp it after. We will take our chances with it already all put together, that we won't mess up. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold your flap, and this is the part that's going to tuck underneath, and that's going to hold your little flag down. Now you might be able to see, I don't know, I'm going to bring it real close. when it got die cut, the edge of the die pressed into the cardstock and it made a little impression. Don't worry about that at all because that's going to get covered up, because what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich the basic white and the blueberry bushel like that. So it's going to be behind that, so you won't even see it. So don't worry about when you go ahead and make yours and you see that. It's going to get covered up, so don't worry about that. So we're going to do a little bit here, and you only want to put your adhesive on this part, and then just kind of eyeball it where the middle is. There we go. And then more adhesive on the back of your insert. Now, I know some people don't use inserts in their cards, but I always do that. I think it makes it look really finished. And of course, you're going to need an insert for this fun fold. And I don't even know what the name of this fun fold is. I learned it from another demonstrator. Her name is Lonnie Spenlove, and I am in Blog Hop with her. And I had to case her last week, I think it was, to the theme of the Blog Hop that month was case another team member. And I cased this kind of style of card. She used the Everyday Arches card and not the banners, but same idea. You can put it together the same way. All right, so the next thing you need to do, we are just going to line up. Let's keep this out so we can fold it flat. You're going to line up your blueberry bushel in your opening in the front. So you want to make sure this is all lined up, so then when you open it and close it, everything fits nested in your openings. So we're just going to kind of keep that there. We are going to do just a little bit of adhesive in the middle, kind of right where that impression is from the die. You're going to do that. Press that down and just kind of leave it where it is too. And just make sure your blueberry bushel one is still centered in your opening. And then you're going to take your basic white. I'm going to do a quick little bit of adhesive and just make sure you're all centered, and you just line that up. All right, now you just kind of tuck it through, and there you go. So that's the really easy fold. You could do circles. You could do, like I said, Lonnie used the Everyday Arches on her card. And you can go back in my blog and see the link to her card. But this is the basic way to do it with the flap and the fold that opens, you know, the two pieces. What else could you use? You could use rectangles, really any shaped dies that you have two that can nest, so you can get a nice sandwich between the banner. So like, yeah, I'll have to try circles. I've done two or three of the party banners. So it's just a really kind of a fun fold, and it's way easier to make than it looks. And you can do whatever you want on the front. I should have pulled out the card that I made. I can go grab that if I can find it in my bin. I'm gonna add some gems to the front. These I think are retired. Yes, these are retired in color shimmer gems, but that's all right. I saved the current stuff to use in classes because I want my local stampers to get all the good stuff. So I'm just gonna stick a couple of those down. And I'm always, I don't know, are you guys like me? Always proud of myself when I use up, like, look, I've used up all the pretty in pink. Now just to work on the other colors. It's very satisfying to use up a whole roll of ribbon or a whole sheet of gems. I don't know, it's just, or a whole package of designer series paper, which is super rare. All right, now for the rest of the stamping. So we've got our front done. Gonna open it up. We're gonna pull it open. And now for the stamping on the inside, we're gonna try to line it up so everything is stamped right here and it gets covered by that. So when you open up the flap, you know, you see it like that, and you open this one up and it's still covered, and then you get the little fun stuff in the middle there. So let me just make sure I've got all my inks. All right, we're gonna use the, I don't know if you can see that, happy and then birthday. So we're gonna put those two together, and I'm gonna do the birthday first. And And I'm going to judge kind of like across where my banner panel is and make sure that that is covered. I'm going to do birthday, and then I'm going to do happy right above it. And let's see how that works. Pretty good. So just eyeball it. If you want to measure, if you're particular like that, go for it. I'm more of a let's wing it and see what happens, because you know what? If that got messed up, I have another piece here and you could just put it over and try again. So no biggie. Let's see, what's the next thing we're going to do? We're going to add a couple more of these flowers because I have a lot of these left and I want to use them up because they're so cute and they make it really easy to kind of jazz up any part of your card. So if you haven't used these yet in the Wildflower Celebrations pack of Designer Series paper, definitely get those out and see what you can make with it, because it's fun to mix and match. Tuck that in. Oh, we might see that one over the top. Let's see. Oh, a little bit. That's all right. You could use a smaller flower. I just grabbed this one because I thought it was fun to bring in the same color, the peach pie, from the inside. So let's see. There we go. And the final thing, let me see. So I always have to do my hand stamped by. Open that up so I'm not stamping on a lump, and just get that down there and close that before I drop my whole card in the ink. See how that comes together so quick. It's so easy, just a couple die cuts. I'm going to leave that in the screen and see if I can find my other one that I made last week. Here we go. So this is the original that I made for the blog hop. And this one I used the A Little Cheer die stamp and punch bundle. And same idea. Opens up. You've got the little sparkles, and then your sentiment is on the inside. So this one I didn't do Designer Series paper on the front. I just stamped. So you can mix and match. You could even do your banners in Designer Series paper and then just like one little sentiment or however you want to do it. But this is just such a quick and easy. It's way quicker than you think it is once you see how the pieces come together. And you can use, like I said, any dies that nest. And then really the only measurements that you need for the Pretty in Pink banner flap is really, you just need, I did 5.5 long by 1.5 wide, and then I just scored at 1.5 to give myself the little piece that gets tucked underneath the insert. So it's really super easy, and I hope you learned how to make it today. And if you make some on your own, please tag me in it. I'd love to see your versions and different ways that you've jazzed up the front or done something different with the opening. I'd love to see that. And I guess that's it. Oh, I just see people are checking in. I see Jill. Jill, thanks so much for coming and watching. Hi, Macon. How are you? I know Macon is happy that the weather has been cooling off. She is not a fan of the hot weather. And today, at least in Richmond, I know she's further out west, but that we had some very cool weather here today in Richmond, which was refreshing. But looking ahead to winter, right, with all these Christmas cards I've been sharing. If you have any questions, please definitely post them in the comments, and I'll be watching to answer any questions. If you wanted to buy any of the supplies that I used in this video, you can go to my online web store on Facebook. It's linked in my About section, as well as in the I guess the description of the video, and then also I'll have a link on the YouTube video for those of you who are watching the replay there. I hope you can join me. I'm hoping to make this an every week thing, Wednesday at 11 o'clock. It's when I have a quiet house and good lighting in my stamp room to be able to show everything. And if you don't see me post a reminder or an event link, poke me and remind me, and I'll get something put together. And I want to be able to join you guys and show you something new every week. So hopefully I can stick to that schedule. So thanks so much for joining me. Again, Amanda Mertz at Did You Stamp Today? And this is my live stamping session. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I hope you get a chance to stamp today. Take care.